Starting an MSP business can be overwhelming. You need the right tools to match with the right clients and a plan that's actually going to work. In this video, I am walking you through everything step by step so you can successfully launch your MSP and start making real money. My name is Harrison Barron from growth-generators.com, and we help MSPs grow, whether that's sales training, marketing training, or even some business operations. And before I say go check anything out, I do want to let you know a couple little things. One, I've already recorded a video similar to this in the past. This video is going to be even better. I have tons of tabs pulled up, things that you're going to need to know. And quite honestly, we've been able to help thousands of MSPs. Our videos have been seen by almost actually over 250,000 people all in the MSP world to help them build their business. Through these conversations, even I've picked up little tips and tricks that I'm including in this video today so you could take them and run with it. So I'd recommend you go over, check out growth-generators.com. You could see our programs if you're looking to grow your MSP and you want mentorship and coaching. The MSP Heroes is a great choice for you. Or if you're just starting your MSP, check out the Launchpad. It's ideal for just learning. It's much more in-depth than this about us, the services. We're going to be talking about a ton of resources in this video that we also provide, quite literally, to make your life easier. Our free Discord with 1,100 plus people. And if you want to take it on the go, we do have podcasts as well for you. So let's talk about what is an MSP. An MSP is a managed service provider, and it's a business model that people choose to take on where you are providing proactive support for businesses. That's really what you're doing. You are making sure that that business can function and operate at all hours of the day, removing the headaches, removing and getting away from that break fix model. The nice part about this is it allows businesses to function the way they want. And in return, they pay you a monthly recurring revenue fee for the services, for the maintenance, for the updates that you actually provide. But even before that, if you're thinking about, well, who's this video for? If you're thinking about becoming an MSP or starting an MSP, this video is absolutely for you. And also, if you're trying to get out of the break fix mentality or the break fix business that you're stuck in, this is going to be a fantastic video for you as well. We're going to go through step by step what it is and if the MSP business model is right for you to go through. And like I said, we've been able to help tons of people, quite literally. Fast forwarding now, it is insane how many people we've been able to help. So let's dive into this together. And I want to share with you how to start an MSP business and how we've been able to help quite literally hundreds and hundreds of people build and start their own MSP. First step out of this whole process is we have to define the business model. I've mentioned just previously what is an MSP, but we have to go even deeper than that. Most people don't even think about this, but we have to know who we're actually targeting. Who is our target market? Just because they have a computer doesn't mean they're a good customer. I know, I hate to be the bearer of bad news there, but this is really, really important. We need to have the right niche, the right type of customer, the right services to match that customer's needs, and hopefully the right pricing so then they decide to buy from us. And that leads me to checking out the buyer persona. And if you want to grab it, it's under growth-generators.com/resources. Scroll almost to the bottom currently, and you could grab it. It's a free buyer persona. But we need to know exactly who we're actually going after. It's important to narrow our focus and say, if I had to paint a picture of my dream customer, who is it? Who are they? What do they look like? First name, last name, their age, maybe a specific age, male, female, whatever you prefer. Where are they located? What are their demographics? Do they have a certain job title? Are you going after CTOs, CEOs, COOs, CFOs? The list goes on and on and on. Are you going after doctors? Does that person have a master's or PhD? Do they have a degree, a specialized degree in healthcare management? These are all things to keep in mind as you go through this. And do they make a certain amount of money? Do you want to target specific people? Now, in some cases, you might say, hey, look, they have to have a certain amount of money. In other cases, you might say, no, they probably don't. What psychographics do they have? And there's 2 full pages to this. I will leave a link. I'm going to leave all of the links to everything that I'm talking about. As you can tell, there's quite a few things up on the screen here, down in the order that I mentioned them throughout this. So you don't have to worry about, oh, they're going to be completely in order for you to grab. It'll be different than all of my normal videos because there's a lot of information to cover here. And even behaviors and habits. And there's a whole second page. I recommend you going through it. But we have to know who we're actually talking to. Because if we don't know who we're talking to and we don't narrow down the focus of who we want to go after, right? Healthcare, law firms, construction, finance, SMBs, whatever industry it is, we need to know who we're going after because this is going to change our MSP business model from local to possibly doing some more remote stuff and potentially spreading that out. Now, either way, if you say, Harrison, I want to be the best MSP in my local area, cool. And if you say, Harrison, I want to be the best MSP for healthcare companies in California, cool. You might not be able to get to all of them physically, but we can thankfully remotely, right? It's really important to know who we're going after because quite literally everything in the rest of this video is going to come down based on who you want to target. It's extremely important to get it right, or at least come up with an idea and we can always adjust it down the road. But by not picking anything, you are choosing a harder path to go down. And it's okay if you were like, Harrison, I want to be the local MSP. That's fine. You can completely be the local MSP, but you have to fill this out maybe a couple different times to pick different people around your local area to then go after, right? That's why we included things like location, the behaviors and habits. Where are they getting their information from? Any interests and hobbies? Are they going to local chambers of commerce? These are super important for building things down the road. Now, after we come up with who we want to go after, we have to figure out what we're going to offer those people because they're not just going to pay us for nothing, right? We have to do something so they can pay us money. That's how a business works, right? So we have to select our service offerings. Now there's what I would consider core service offerings, and then there's value add service offerings, right? Some of the core service offerings, remote monitoring and management stuff, RMM, and I'm going to share with you guys some of those tools as well. We have patch management and updates. These are also really, really important. And I'm going to dive more into tools in a little bit in this video. Help desk support, where they could pick up the phone, call you, right? You could put in a text or you could put in an email, right? You'd be able to connect or put in a ticket online. Cybersecurity and compliance. If you do that type of thing, keep in mind that could definitely be a value add as well. Data backup and disaster recovery, BDR is usually what it's abbreviated as. And if you want, you could also throw in VoIP and cloud solutions in there. Now, you don't have to offer all of these today at the end of watching this video, but these are what most MSPs typically offer, right? It's important to keep that in mind. But there's also value add services, right? Some quick examples of that is a co-managed IT situation where they might have an existing IT company, or better yet, an existing IT person in-house. Great. That one person goes on vacation, they get sick. They might not be able to handle everything. It's actually a really good scenario because they are quite literally your boots on the ground and they can do the things that you might have to physically go to the office for. Virtual CIO or virtual chief information officer consulting. Now, this is many times blended in, but depending on the business and the growth of that business, it could be really important to say, hey, you know what? I need to make sure that I include VCIO stuff to help this company grow and build and implement the right technology. And then my favorite value add service, because this is pretty much able to be sold to just about every single company out there, is security training for employees, right? Phishing, teaching them what's going on in the digital world and how to keep the business secure, because nobody wants to lose their job or have to be the one that was the problem child, right? So let's talk about pricing, because pricing is super, super important throughout this entire process. Now, pricing can be done typically in 2 different ways. And I know you're probably thinking, Harrison, I'm building a new business. How does pricing fall into 2 different ways? So way number 1 is my personal favorite. And that is a good, better, best model. And you can choose to charge based on device, user, or a value add service, a tiered, or all you can eat. These are different pricing models, but truthfully, they typically fall into those two, right? You could choose to charge per device or per user. You could choose to have another option as well, and I'm going to get to that. But I do like a good, better, best, because that good, better, best, you might have customers that are not quite ready to jump into the best or the better option, right? You have three almost silos. And I say per device or per user because it can vary a little bit, but it's tiered pricing. Every customer should fall into one of those. Maybe it's kind of a security stack where you don't have support involved. Maybe it's remote support in the middle under that better package. And the best support is you're getting in the car and going and fixing their problems included in the price. And guess what? If you don't go on site, you still get paid for it. Now, the second model that I really like is a one size fits all. If you want to work with my MSP, you have to get the only package that we offer, which is everything. Those are two of the options that I see work the best: a tiered price and a all-in-one price. Now, there's plenty of MSPs out there that do a value-based pricing and they adjust it all the time per user or per customer. To me, that makes life so much more challenging, truthfully. Does it work? Absolutely. For some MSPs, 100%. But if you have to sit there and go through and reconfigure a calculator and God forbid something breaks during that time, you're going to have less hair than I do because it's a lot of work. And truthfully, you don't need to go through that. My goal with this video is to make your life as simple as possible. So you could say, I'm going to start my MSP. I'm going to pick this, and off to the races, closing deals and building the business. So all of that is quite literally step one. Once again, for just step one, we have to know who we're going after, the business model and understanding and choosing to accept it, right? The service offerings that we could potentially have, and then a pricing model. That's all step one. Now, step number two for this whole thing. We got to set up the legal stuff. Now, truth be told, I'm not an expert in world commerce, we'll put it. In the United States, we have to form a business, and you do it most of the time in every other country out there. But the goal is to get you set up and protect yourself and operate efficiently. We need to make sure we register the business with the appropriate authorities. Here in the United States, you could do an LLC, an S Corp, a C Corp, a sole proprietorship. What I would recommend, because I'm not an accountant or a lawyer, and this is not legal advice or accounting advice, just go call an accountant. Do some homework on what is suitable for you. But the goal, at least in the United States, is to get what is called a EIN number, an employee identification number. You're going to need this to set up your business bank accounts and help set up your accounting software. But you have to set this up. I do not recommend starting a business without having a registered business in place. You want to make sure that you have the legal barrier and the legal protection. God forbid something does happen, it falls under the corporation versus falling under and on you, right? That's the big difference. But you have to file, in most countries, some kind of business creation. What it is in other countries, I apologize. I'm not an expert, and there's way too many countries for me to dive into that. Now, after that, I do recommend getting insurance. You're going to have to maintain some level of compliance, right? But MSPs do need typically some type of insurance. That could be cyber liability, E&O, which is errors and omissions, and then general liability. Those are the three that you're going to need. Now, depending on where you are and how much, it could vary in price. I don't want to give a price here, but it's not cheap, but it's not super expensive. But we want to cover our rear end. We've done the right thing by forming a business, but we also want to make sure we do the right thing and get the appropriate amounts of insurance. And we also want to make sure that we're following regulations that we might need to follow. In the United States, the CCPA, which is the California Protection Act. I forget the second C in there. And GDPR, right? Which is mainly for Europe, but depending on where you do business, you might need to follow GDPR too. These two things can have a huge impact on your MSP. You need to know them and you need to make sure you don't violate them because you're going to open yourself up for potential vulnerabilities, and we don't want that to happen. And the last and most important thing is you're going to need a decently strong contract and a service level agreement. At some point down the road, you might get an MSA, a master service agreement, but for just starting out, you're probably going to need a SLA, a service level agreement. Now, I will say, if you're interested and you're like, Harrison, I don't have these things, how do I get them? We do offer templates inside of our MSP Heroes all-inclusive membership. If you'd like to go grab them, you're welcome to check that out and join. And we also will offer mentorship and all of that. And by the way, if you're enjoying this video or this podcast, if you're listening to it on the podcast platform, I'd really appreciate a like, subscribe, notification bell, and hopefully a 5-star review on there. We have to make sure that we have those. Now, strong contracts and SLAs are there to do two different things. They protect you and they protect the client, right? The customer is going to pay you a lot of money. Depending on what you consider a lot of money is, it's usually a lot of money. They expect a certain level of response and you have to deliver it. So if they don't get it, your SLA can quite literally say, hey, they get a reduction on their bill, whatever it is. But it also helps protect you where you're like, hey, you agreed and you signed off on all this paperwork. I'm working within what I promised that I was going to do for you. It just helps cover your butt and it helps make the customer who's paying you a lot of money feel better. But we have to make sure that we set up and make the business legitimate and set it up correctly. So again, register your business, make sure you're in compliance, and have some level of insurance throughout that whole thing, right? Contracts are always going to be a good thing. They could be a pain in the butt sometimes, but truthfully, setting up a great contract is important. Now, step 3, where we get all of the toys involved. I know you're probably itching for them. We're going to go deep in these, but we have to build a rock solid MSP tech stack. Now, the tools and what I recommend in this video, some of them are affiliates, some of them are not affiliates, some of them are just great tools, and some of them, if they're a bad tool, I'm not going to mention them anyway. And just because they didn't make my YouTube video does not mean that they're a bad tool. I want to make sure that is abundantly clear. I set these videos up, I prep for a little while, I put together the whole thing of what I want to cover, and then I pull up as many links as I can without losing my place. I want to just be fair and transparent in regards to that. The first thing you're going to need out of all of this is a remote monitoring and management platform, an RMM tool. The second thing is going to be a professional services automation tool. In many cases, these are bundled together, but not in every case. And I'm going to share with you guys what you need to know and how to look for that. But your RMM tool is going to be remotely monitoring and managing all of your customers. And your professional services automation tool is going to be ideal and used for ticketing, invoicing, and contracts. We want to get paid in one way or another. So I'm going to share with you guys some of the ones that I like, right? We have SuperOps. I am an affiliate of SuperOps. There will be a link down below. And as I'm recording this video, currently on March 14th, there is a discount of, I believe, 40% off. I will put 2 links to SuperOps down below. So that way you can make sure that you get the right one. And if they stop offering one, there will be another link to SuperOps. It is personally one of my favorite platforms. Not because I'm an affiliate. I've talked about them hundreds of times before I ever became an affiliate of theirs, right? But they have a really, really cool tool. And they do provide a RMM and PSA tool. One of my favorite things is they are one of the first people to get really embedded with AI and leveraging AI. And they took off my giant circle that I really liked that kind of showed you all of the tools in one, but all systems connected, ready for deployment. It's a really, really cool tool. And I would truly recommend, if you're watching this video and you've made it this far, do your homework on all of them. I like SuperOps. I also love Atera. Other people like different companies, and that's totally okay. Once again, just because they're not on my computer does not mean they are a bad vendor. Full transparency there. Atera is another really cool one. They have an RMM and PSA tool, slightly different interface. And once again, I would recommend going through, verifying all of them. I also love that they do have their pricing. Their pricing has changed since the last time I've done a video. And once again, I will leave links down below. Next is going to be Synchro. Now, Synchro MSP is another one. If anyone from Synchro watches, I don't quite fully understand the rebrand of the orange and the super AI stuff, but I'm a big fan of AI, but these eyes looking at me are a little strange. It's a great platform, truthfully. Out of all of the platforms on here, these first three, SuperOps, Atera, and Synchro, are both RMM tools and PSA tools combined into one. After that, you have tools like Halo PSA, where it's going to be your professional services automation tool, right? Refining your PSA software. Now, Halo PSA is typically combined with a company like Ninja One, which I've already pulled up. So you're going to have to get two different programs, Ninja One to handle your RMM side and Halo PSA to handle your PSA side of it. Thankfully, they do naturally integrate quite well, and they're a great choice for businesses as well. Some other great pairs that are out there, depending on what you're looking for, is a cool little program called level.io, especially if you like scripting. If you're like, Harrison, I love scripting. They have really cool stuff for scripting. Their automations are truly, truly incredible. And they also, if you don't know how to script or you're not the best at scripting, you can reach out to them, and they're working on a library of scripting. And I'm also a huge fan of their website as well. Just it looks really, really nice. But Level.io is an RMM tool, which has to usually get paired with a PSA tool. Now, Zest is another one. Zest MSP is another cool PSA tool. Depending on what you're looking for, once again, do your homework in all of these. There are plenty of opportunities out there to pick an RMM tool, a PSA tool, one for both. However that you want to run it, you can absolutely do both in there. Another notable mention in here is a company called ConnectWise. It's actually funny. I always say that this is what I grew up on because I've used ConnectWise for hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of hours. It's a cool program. It was one of the early people, or the early companies in the MSP space, providing an RMM and a PSA tool kind of combined. It's a cool program. From what I remember, it's a little expensive, but if you're interested in using kind of a tried and true and tested and been around for a forever tool, because there are people like that, by all means, ConnectWise is great. If you like a little bit younger, a little more spunk, faster moving, SuperOps, Atera, Synchro are some great options as well for you. But that's your RMM tool and your PSA tool. Now, you're absolutely going to need one more tool, what I would consider a critical tool for building your MSP. And this is highly debated, but you need a CRM, a customer relationship manager, because your RMM tool is going to help you remotely monitor and manage your clients. PSA tool, ticketing, invoicing, contracts. But our goal is to get leads, nurture those leads, and turn them into customers. And that's kind of where the third part of this comes from. We need to have a good CRM. Now, there are plenty of great CRMs out there. And for those of you that are longtime watchers, you probably already know I'm going to say SuperOps. It is my absolute favorite program. There will be a link down below for SuperOps, and I can't recommend SuperOps. There will be a link down below for High Level. It is an affiliate link, but it is truly an amazing platform. I will also say, if you're thinking about getting Go High Level and you want what's called a snapshot, where we've already pre-built your automations and that kind of stuff, templatized it, and you have to go back and tweak it. Once again, check out our programs, MSP Heroes. MSP Heroes does come with a version of Go High Level for you in your MSP business. But you could check out other ones. You have HubSpot, which is another great program. It's very well built out. They do have a free version, so if that is something that you're looking for, you can go through and use their free version. However, their automations are a bit limited, their sales tools are a bit limited, but it's a great place to start if you're starting on a budget. I totally get it. When you do need to upgrade, that's when things get wildly expensive, and this is probably one of the only companies I thought the pricing was just going to show up there, but Their pricing can be expensive. For their marketing packages, it's about $800 a month. And then for their sales package, it's an additional $500 a month. You could use Pipedrive as well, another great CRM. You have Zoho, you have Salesforce, Keep/Infusionsoft, the Odoo, Glasshive, the list goes on and on. There are tons of great CRMs out there. Find one that works best for you. Personally, I think Go High Level is probably the best one there is, but there's sometimes other people like different flavors of ice cream, and that's totally your opinion, and you're welcome to have it. But find one that works best for you, what fills all the gaps, fills your needs, and truly the most important thing is it automates. It can automate follow-ups, automate your marketing, and you could build landing pages and set up lead magnets so you can have leads come in. Now, some of the other important tools that you're going to need fall into 3 different categories: security and endpoint protection, backup and disaster recovery, and documentation and process management. These are really, really important as well. So some of my personal favorites, if you're looking for backup and antivirus and cyber protection, a cool company that I'm a huge fan of is called Acronis. They have stuff for managed service providers, quite literally. They can set up your cyber, they can set up your backups. It is fairly reasonably priced, and they are time tested, true to the core, in my opinion, one of my absolute favorite companies. I'm not even an affiliate of theirs, I'm just a raving fan. Every interaction I've had with an Acronis employee or support has been top tier. You also can use something like Bitdefender for antivirus and cyber protection. You could use ESET as well. Find one that you absolutely love for that cybersecurity, right? You can get super deep into EDR, MDR, firewalls, XDR. There's all of these different things, email filtering. Just find the right tools for you, truthfully. Backup is really important. Out of all of them, I love Acronis. It's simply one of the best out there. There are plenty of other ones out there too. Depending on if you like Datto, which is owned by Kaseya, you can go that route as well. Just be careful. They are going to try to lock you in for a contract for the next 3 years minimum. That's how they do business. That's just what I've heard. I have no opinions otherwise on that one. But backup's huge. It gives clients peace of mind that it's backed up to either the cloud or an on-prem solution. And last but not least, you're going to need some kind of document management. Now, sometimes your RMM and PSA tools can include that. For example, SuperOps, I know, includes some level of documentation management and process management. You could check out Hoodoo. It's a really, really cool company, independently owned, so I'm a big fan of that. And you could store all of your documents there in one place. It's a cool company, and they have tons of, there you go, SOC 2 Type 2 compliance. It's just fantastic, fantastic software. And also IT Glue, which has been soaked up by Kaseya, another really cool platform. And I hope Kaseya still treats them well and they're building a great business, because I've used IT Glue for a long time. And truthfully, it is a fantastic, fantastic program. Now, before we talk about the next section of getting your first clients, I want to share with you how to get some of these a little bit cheaper in some ways. You're going to need to buy things. Right? You're going to need software. You're probably going to need some hardware. And that's where vendors come in. Now, I've made videos on vendors in the past, but for the sake of this video, I'm going to cover some great vendors out there that you should absolutely go check out. Now, Pax8, pretty cool company. They are stateside originally. They are blowing up. They work with tons. You can see their entire marketplace. They have tons and tons and tons of programs, right? You can go through this, see, explore the vendors and what's actually in here. There you go. There's Acronis. You're going to find a ton of companies built in here that you can leverage and use for different things. Some of the softwares that I've mentioned in this video are on Pax8. Now, Pax8 is a vendor because they buy in bulk. They get a discount and they share that discount with you. They also, in many cases, will provide versions of support for a lot of these companies as well. Compliancy Group, ConnectWise, ConnectSecure. I mean, the list can go on and on and on. You will need a EIN number or tax ID number to work with pretty much every vendor out there because you're reselling it. You also can use Ingram Micro. They're a fantastic company. You can also buy hardware from them. Their process to become a partner takes a while. So don't think it's going to happen overnight. I would truly start as soon as you get, if you want to use Ingram Micro for hardware and software, start that process a bit early. And some other cool companies, you have Carbon Systems. They sell computers that are not available to the public. Now, you're probably thinking, Harrison, why do I want to buy a computer that's not available to the public? The reason you want to buy a computer that's not available to the public is because the customer can't go and look up the pricing, which makes your life as an MSP significantly easier. They won't share any information with customers. They only sell through what is called the channel. And you, starting an MSP, have just earned yourself a right to be a part of the channel. They sell laptops, they sell desktops, they sell workstations, they sell these little nooks. They have systems that can run quite literally anything. You call them up, you tell them what you need, they will get you a quote for it. They are a really, really cool company, and let them know I sent you if you do. And then a company like D&H is another company that'll just sell you hardware and potentially some software, right? I don't know if they've fully started offering software, but I'm sure that they do offer some level of software as well throughout their company. And it's another vendor that you can absolutely use. Now, these are just some of the vendors out there. It does not mean that you need to go hit up all of these vendors. You have every right to, but truthfully, start finding vendors early on. And I have vendor videos as well that you can go check out how to find or what are the best MSP vendors out there, and you can go hit them up. Some of them, for example, Carbon Systems, currently at the time of recording this video, is the United States and Canada. They don't do worldwide. Depending on what you need, find a company that serves your needs. Now, finally, step number 4, getting your first clients. This is probably the hardest thing for MSPs to do, right? I want you to close at least 5 or 10 clients so you could start having some monthly recurring revenue come in, but also it'll give you the money to buy better tools, you will buy better customers with better marketing, but buy better employees and hire better employees. And truthfully, it builds the confidence that allows you to grow and build the business. More cash, more capital is always going to help build the business. Quite literally, money is the key to building a better and bigger business. It is the fuel that you need to grow the business. So how do you actually grow? Well, there's outbound sales strategies. And I will say, if you want to go check out, we also built, if you're like, Harrison, I don't have a process for anything, we have built out a battle card. There's 2 parts to this battle card, MSP marketing strategies. You can go grab it. There will be a link down below. But this is what you should follow regardless of if you're cold calling, inbound, outbound, whatever it is. You have sales qualified leads, booked appointments, going on site for a discovery day if possible, building out your proposal, delivering that proposal, and following up until that customer buys. Once again, you can grab that battle card down below, and I would truly print it out. It's about 3x5 battle card, and you can have them. We're working on putting it on the website so you could just buy it from us and we'll ship it to you. If you want a physical one as well, we'll get it nice and good looking, but we just haven't gotten that far yet. But you need to follow a process, right? Regardless of if you're doing outbound, inbound, networking, all of that. Now, let's start with outbound. Outbound sales strategies: cold emailing, LinkedIn prospecting, cold calling, door-to-door, which works tremendously well, and direct mail if you have the capital for it, right? You're sending out different things. We want to focus on what you are good at. If you're the kind of person that's willing to pick up the phone and cold call, great. You should 100% do cold calling. If you want to set up cold emailing, Lemlist or Instantly are great companies to use to send out cold emails. And LinkedIn prospecting is something you should always be doing, looking for your dream customer, connecting with them, and starting a good conversation. And if you like door knocking, it's a fantastic way to get face-to-face with your dream customers. Then you have inbound marketing, where that is people coming into your system. This is the dream for every business, when customers want to come to you to do business with you. You have inbound marketing, and this turns into lead generation. Now, this is search engine optimization, content marketing like YouTube, social media, all of that good stuff, and also setting up a great Google My Business. You have to set up a Google My Business. There is tons of training on this YouTube channel on all of these things, but also, once again, if you want to go a little deeper, check out MSP Heroes. We have extremely thorough training in there. Do not run ads as a new MSP. Yes, you will be getting in front of your dream customer, but if you don't have the system built out where you have what's called the lead magnet, where somebody can download something and get value and then become a lead, it is not worth it. You need to test and try that before you start burning your money on ads. Google ads and Facebook ads are the same thing. You can't just expect to run traffic back to your homepage and start getting leads. As much as I wish I could tell you that was possible, you are going to end up burning through all of your capital. And last but not least, as far as getting your first clients, one of my favorite ways is truly going out there and networking. Join local networking groups, your local chamber of commerce. I'll pull a couple up here for you. But you have your local chamber of commerce. In this case, mine here is the Montcross Chamber of Commerce. You have BNI, and then you also have a company called LETIP, LETIP. Some of these may or may not be available in your local area, but you can find a local chamber of commerce. Simply search your town chamber of commerce, and more than likely it'll come up. Right? We have a community guide. This is the one that I'm a part of in the area that I live in, right? But you could also check out BNI, which is a professional networking organization, as well as LETIP. Yes, there is a cost associated with joining all of these, but you're paying to get people in the right room. And you want to create strategic partnerships, right? People that you could sell to their customers. Electricians, office managers, real estate management companies are huge. Moving companies, believe it or not, if they're moving an entire office, they might have great connections. On top of that, digital marketers is another huge opportunity. But you have to go out there, network, meet people, shake hands, get business cards, and insert them into your CRM to keep track of the conversations that you're actually having. Now, step number 5, after you go through and you figure out what you want to do, if it's an outbound, inbound, maybe a combination of those, and networking, we have step 5, sales and onboarding. This is the most important part of all of this. You need to know how to close deals, deliver value, and have a seamless customer experience. You want to make sure that as you go through your sales process, right? Now we'll pull this back up. When you're on a discovery day or you're talking to people, you ask great questions. There's things called discovery questions where you're going to ask questions to find out if they would be potentially a good customer for you in your MSP. And if they are, then you have a discovery day with them and you ask even better questions, right? But we want to make sure that we cut out all the tech jargon. We as tech people absolutely love to get super involved and talk all about our tech. Guess what? Your customers don't care about it. I said what I said. I'm sorry. It's not that they don't care. They don't know. So if you're like, hey, do you guys have do you guys use AD? Do you have a file server where your file's stored? You might get blank stares when you're talking to them. Do you guys have gig switches? Do you have a firewall? They're going to be like, what are you talking about? I don't know what any of this means. We have to use non-technical jargon. It's really important, especially when it comes to sales, because we want to make sure that we can effectively ask great questions, but also present the value that we offer without confusing the heck out of people. Truth be told, if you can speak and write in a 9th grade reading level, you are well above everybody else. Here's why. If you talk in a college or super highly educated way, the only people that you're going to impress are people in your industry. And guess what? Those people are not paying your monthly recurring revenue. So cut out the tech jargon. Make it as simple as possible for people to understand. Create an effective proposal. Now, in many cases, you can build out your proposals inside your PSA tool. You could build out your proposal inside your CRM. Truth be told, I build out a lot of my proposals inside of Go High Level. You can also use PandaDoc, you can use Zomentum, but it's important to have a great testimonial. And sometimes in your proposal, you want to make sure that you include, believe it or not, testimonials. But the important elements are having the scope of work and what you're actually doing, the price that the customer is paying, the benefits, and I can't stress that one enough. It's all about the benefits to the customer. And have a clear SLA, service level agreement, to help close the deals. If they read through it and their eyes glaze over, you have lost them and potentially lost that deal. And you want to onboard them. When they sign that contract and say, I want to do business with you, you have to have a fantastic onboarding. We have an entire onboarding sheet. Would you look at that? It's almost like we know what we're doing. If you go here, there's a free onboarding sheet at growth-generators.com/resources. You can grab a free onboarding sheet, download it, and use it. It's a ton of information. Chop it up, make it geared towards you, but it helps set expectations. It helps you make sure you didn't miss anything and set a 30, 60, 90-day roadmap. It's going to do wonders for your business. And on top of that, you might actually impress your customers. Now, step number 6 is we have to scale. We have done the first 5 steps are easily the hardest. We've talked a lot about your ideal customer, setting up the legal stuff, what softwares you need, where to get the softwares, the selling, how to sell the services, how to onboard the customer. Now you probably want to scale. And this is the bright future of your MSP. It's the most exciting part. We want to grow your MSP effectively and efficiently while maintaining profitability. You want to make sure that you're hiring the right people and outsourcing the right people. And if you're like, Harrison, I don't know how to do these things. That's why you're watching this YouTube video, and that is why I am here to deliver great information. Now, hiring people is totally up to you. You want to find the best roles that you can locally, and if you're going to use them and abuse them, find great employees, hire them. Absolutely. You might want to hire your first tech, and you take care of sales, or you might want to find what you're bad at. If it's, believe it or not, being a tech, then continue to be sales and hire a technician. If you're like, I'm Harrison, I'm really, really good at tech, vet out the right salesperson to help you with sales. But if you're like, Harrison, I need more help, you can outsource your help desk, believe it or not. Helped is a great company. I may or may not, I don't know 100% if I'm officially or I've signed the paperwork for them to be an affiliate or not, but Helped is a really cool company. They literally help MSPs and they support them by providing help desk service. And then they can help triage, they can help support the tickets, right? Helped is a 24/7 US-based tech support with call answering, triage, and level 1 support, seamlessly boosting your team's efficiency. I'm not even being paid to include them, but I didn't know about them in my last video, which is why I'm remaking this video. So if you're like, Harrison, I need help, then call help. I want royalties. Call Helped. But I'm saying that because truthfully, you might be too busy. You might be bringing on customers, and you're like, I can't do this all. I could do the projects, but I can't take care of everything. That's where they can come into play and alleviate a lot of those issues for you. You also want to automate your business as much as you possibly can. At this point, you should be automating a lot of your marketing, but automating your workflows, documenting your SOPs to make it as efficient as possible. When you bring in a new customer, you are going to want to help them as effectively as possible. When you bring on new employees, you want to make sure that they can follow your standard operating procedures, your SOPs, that they know that if this is happening, they do this, they do this, they do this, they do this, and they get the results that they're actually looking for. But you want to automate as much as you can and document, so that way you constantly have great employees coming in, understanding what they need to do, and actually doing that. And then we want to figure out ways that we could build more recurring revenue. In this case, I absolutely love upselling. I will upsell till the cows come home. It is the best thing in the world. We want to build more and more monthly recurring revenue because $1,000 is cool, but $1,000 every single month for 12 months is even better. And on average, a MSP client will stay with your MSP for 7 to 20 years. That is tremendous. So even $1,000 customer is going to be worth a lot of money in the long run. We have to make sure that we can sell people and also upsell people. You might want to upsell cybersecurity. You might want to upsell compliance packages. You might even want to take opportunities like QBRs, quarterly business reviews, or TBRs, technology business reviews, ABRs, annual business reviews, right? TLA it, 3-letter acronym it. I heard that one a couple weeks ago. It was quite funny. But you want to figure out what you can upsell. One of my favorites, personally, is if you're looking to just get into some levels of cybersecurity, you could check out a company called Fin. They provide security awareness training and monitoring, On top of that, they will also help you set up and roll out phishing trainings, which is sweet, right? You can even get reports, data, and metrics and all that kind of stuff as well. Maybe you want to offer compliance. You can check out Galactic Advisors. There's tons of other companies out there. Or maybe you want to find out your own tech stack that'll allow you to offer compliance as well. But these are great companies that can truly help you be successful throughout the process and scale. You might not want to start out with the alphabet agencies, the HIPAA, FINRA, FDIC, whatever it is, right? The list can go on and on. You might just want to find great local businesses that you can help. And that's the coolest part about building your MSP. There's no limits on what you're required to do. And if you're not worried about the regulatory agencies, you can have as much fun and help as many businesses as possible. That's the coolest part about running an MSP. If you've made it this far, I hope I have earned a like button, a subscribe button, notification bell. If you think I missed something throughout this video, because we are 45 minutes in, please let me know, because I truly want to help as many MSPs succeed. We've covered every single step in building an MSP. That is every step. Once you complete all 5 of those steps, it is quite literally scaling. If you want help building your MSP, or you're like, Harrison, I wish I could ask you questions. I wish there was somebody that offered mentorship. You can check out our program called MSP Heroes. It is our all-inclusive membership. It includes all of the paid products, pricing calculators. It includes marketing training, sales training, live coaching calls with me. You can come in and quite literally ask questions 5 days a week, right? Comes with a CRM. We wanted to make it. Our goal is to make your life as an MSP as easy as possible. So if we can build it and make you succeed and help you succeed, I might even force you to succeed. That is truly our goal. So I want to hear from you. Where are you at in the journey? Leave it down in the comments. Come hang out in the Discord, growth-generators.com/Discord. But I believe in you. This video is quite literally your step-by-step guide in building your MSP. And I am so appreciative that you came and watched my video to learn how to build it. I love the heck out of you guys, as always, and I'll see you guys in the next one. Bye.